Guys, nothing feels like having an amazing, good coffee in this bright, amazing Saturday morning. So you guys have seen our spotlight this week. We spotlighted the one and only Haile Garima. The reason why, as you guys have heard from the narration, he has went through a lot of process for him to get where he is today. And for me, if you ask me what is it the main things that I have taken for myself, personally, I really love listening people's story as I try to find myself within their story, within their journey, what they have been through. And from his story, I was able to understand that in life, the way you see things really matters. The challenge and the opportunities that you face depends on the way you see things. And if you're willing to shift the way you see the world and yourself and the opportunities that are coming your way and the challenge that you're facing, you are able to go beyond that and have a life full of exposure, a life full of exploring in a very short period of time that we live on this earth. And I hope you guys got a new insights, a new way of understanding yourself, a new way of understanding your dreams, your passion, your journey, and let us know what you guys think. And now we'll be passing to the most exciting topic of this week, Africa is Rising. Guys, I'm gonna be genuine with you guys. This week, when I chose this topic, I was really thinking about how this news is going forward with the world and how the world is perceiving this news. So we'll be talking about Burkina Faso. So as you guys know, Burkina Faso is a country located in the western part of Africa, a landlocked country. It is neighbored by Niger, Mali, Benin. By the way, I love Mali and Mali's culture. Maybe we'll do some kind of episode about Mali's culture, their music on our coming episode. So it is neighbored by those countries and other countries too. And it was first named Upper Volta, especially during French colonial era. And we know that French, especially the colonization area, influenced majority part of African countries in terms of language, culture, lifestyle, and even the way they see themselves and they lead their daily activities. So but in August 3, 1960, Burkina Faso officially gained its independence and changed its name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso. And do you know what Burkina Faso means, guys? I was really surprised when I got this information. It means the land of honest people. So that means people that are living in Burkina Faso are very welcome, warm, and honest to what they believe and value. So let me ask you one question. What is the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear the word Burkina Faso? Or when you think about this country? It might be poverty or terrorist attack or poverty or insecurity. But overall through that, like when we talk about Burkina Faso, it has been in this long transition that it is surprising the whole world right now. In 2022, this country used to receive $1.395 billion to assist development. And from that, when it comes to the healthcare, 31% of the health facilities were affected by insecurity. And from those 31%, 70.7% of them fully were closed. They were not giving any services. This country, with a lot of problems, with a lot of issues, is now taking major steps that is surprising the whole world. And people are like saying, Burkina Faso is just a trending topic right now. So we will try to see this transition. How did the transition happen? So everything came to reality, especially the transition came to reality 3 years from now on September 13, 2022. So this transition was made by a military coup, which was led by Ibrahim Traoré on a person which is called Paul-Henri Damiba. The most fascinating thing about this coup was that the person that was overthrown by the coup, or overthrown by Ibrahim, was first in power like 8 months earlier by a coup, military coup in the same process. But the most funny, or I shall say, very surprising thing about the coup that Paul-Henri Damiba made was, you know how politicians are, right? When they first want to come to power, they be like, I'm gonna have a better health facilities, I'm gonna have much more safety, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But the moment they are on power, with the moment they get the seat, they're not keeping their words. So when Damiba came to power, all the promises that he gave to his people were not happening. There was still unrest, there was still terrorist attack, there was still poverty. People were facing problems. So it started to create some mistrust between him and his people. Eventually, particularly when we talk about mistrust, people in the military and soldiers started to analyze his steps, and they really hated the fact that he was so close with France. And you know that Burkina Faso was a colony of France, which means it still controls its currency, it still controls its resource, it still controls its lifestyle, which means it still is in power in that country. So the first thing that Ibrahim did when he controlled key governmental sites is that he declared, Damiba, thank you so much for your time, but now it's time for you to remove your seat, give us the power, we will take care of our people. Of course, Damiba didn't accept it. It was like, oh, cool, okay, you guys do what you guys want to do, I'll just leave. He resisted. And through different mediators like community leaders and religious leaders, he accepted it and he flew to Togo. And that's when Ibrahim Traoré took the power and started to make amazing, bold steps against the Europeans. So when I say bold and amazing steps, before we go on to what he did during the transition or is still doing right now, let's talk about Ibrahim. Who is this man? How did he just pop out of the air and start to do something miraculous to his people? So most of the time, people don't know that this person, Ibrahim Traoré, took a normal class, okay? He attended school, he went to universities, but eventually in 2010s, he joined this military camp, and he took this military, trainings to protect his country from different terrorist attack. So eventually he joined this group called Burkinas that used to fight against any kind of terrorists like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. So he was in the military for quite long. That's why you see him like all built up and fit and everything. So after that, what is the major thing that he did when he took control? I'm telling you guys, he doesn't joke, because the first thing he did when he was in control was he dissolved the National Assembly and revised the Constitution. This is so important because if we take a look at the major laws that governs our country, especially majority of African countries, we get to see that it favors the foreigners, right? It favors the Western countries to make them invest in our country, to make them come and settle here, to make them open their headquarters in our country, giving away our dignity, giving away our benefits. So he knew that well. That's why he revised the Constitution and dissolved the National Assembly. After that, what did he do? He kicked out the French troop. He's like, guys, thank you so much for your service so far, but now we don't need you. We don't need any kind of allies that the French government has been investing and injecting on Burkina Faso. Thank you so much for all the help and for all the opportunities that you were giving us, but it's not fair. We don't feel like it's good, right? So leave our country peacefully. So after doing that, all the attention from the Western countries started to be on Burkina Faso. Because you know why? This spirit of resistance, spirit of renaissance was growing from Burkina Faso to neighborhood countries. Mali started doing the same. Niger started doing the same. They started to create an ally. They started to cooperate together for a common goal, creating a peaceful region. And that made Europeans really insecure, and we can't lie about that. Because you know why? Majority of the resources France and majority of countries get is from Africa and Western African countries too. And also when we talk about resources as in investment and labor, literally the world cannot survive without Africa. So when they realize that we're awakening, it won't stop on West Africa. It will spread to the whole continent. So he dissolved that, and he did he took a very bold step. Next, what he did is he started to create an alliance with neighborhood countries, as I have mentioned. You know what they did? When Europeans left our continent, they made sure that we fear one another, so that I won't feel any connection with my Kenyan brother or sister that's living literally like not even that far from Ethiopia. They made us fear one another. They made us feel like we don't have anything in common. So I don't have anything to associate myself with anyone that lives all across the continent. So creating such kind of allies create a sense of brotherhood or Pan-African spirit among the neighborhood countries. It's much easier to ally with a country closer to you before you go on and ally to a country that lives way far from you. For example, what I mean by that is it's much easier for Burkina Faso to ally with Niger or Mali or Benin than starting its first alliance with Ethiopia or with South Africa, as the region is different. So it's good to first cooperate in this region and then go further and have that united Africa that we all want to see. And this person, Ibrahim Traoré, is so clear with what he wants and with the roads and the paths that he wants to take his people, that he is clearly taking a bold step regardless of the feedback. He is building healthcares. He is creating jobs in agriculture, in the manufacturing sector, in many more areas that people were asking for a very long time. We don't even have to go that much far to see a lot of things. So the major points or the major reason why we want to talk about Burkina Faso or the administration of Ibrahim Traoré is because when we talk about Africa rising, or when we talk about our continent shining up and shining bright, we don't really see the good governance that are rising all across Africa, that is trying to become a voice for its people, that is trying to stand up and defend its people and defend its history. So Burkina Faso is creating that wave, that magnitude that we really need as an Africans. Because yeah, we are usually, our name is brought as an Africans by poor governance, by poverty, by corruption. It's not like it's something that we find only in Africa, right? We find that all across the globe. But why are we emphasizing on something that we find everywhere, right? I know Africa might be we might lack a lot of things, but at the same time, we should understand that all the problems that we're facing, once other countries have faced it or they're still facing it, it's nothing new. So let's focus on the positive side, because that change, the pattern that we're seeing on the West African countries right now is something that we cannot ignore. Trust me, guys, it will pass through the whole continent, and we'll be able to stand together and hold hands and work for our common goal for our continent, because really we need to do that. We don't have that much time. So we want to keep it positive. We want to keep it optimistic when we talk about our beautiful continent, Africa. And let us know what you guys think about this segment, or the whole segment that we have been mentioning for you guys, that we have been delivering for you guys on This Week My Africa, on our short assembly 6121, and as in for our digital media audiences. Please feel free to let us know about this episode below this video. Dema Hope Real Estate, amazing. I'll put their information and their phone number. You guys can call them, contact them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Till then, stay positive and take care. Goodbye.